Shocking revelations from Pokrovsk expose what military analysts feared most. Up to 10,000 troops are now trapped in what experts call a deadly pocket. But that's just the surface of an unfolding catastrophe. The mysterious disappearance of General Syrsky since early July signals something far more sinister. No public appearances, complete radio silence. Meanwhile, Russian forces are systematically cutting off all supply routes with surgical precision. Think about it. No ammunition, no medical supplies, no evacuation routes. An army transforms into an uncontrollable mass. Panic spreads like wildfire across the ranks. But here's the terrifying part. This is only the beginning. Western allies are finally waking up to the scale of this disaster. Military aid is dropping dramatically, but what's coming next will shock you. The entire regional economy has effectively collapsed. Soldiers aren't receiving pay. Social services have ground to a halt. Strange activities at checkpoints tell us something big is brewing. Enhanced security checks, new restrictions. All signs point to preparation for something massive. Possibly a new wave of mobilization that nobody's talking about. The authorities are clearly preparing for mass unrest. What we're witnessing in Pokrovsk and Konstantinovka isn't just a local crisis. It's a dress rehearsal for complete system failure. The command structure is disintegrating before our eyes. Leadership appears paralyzed. Each passing day only makes things worse. But here's what should really worry you. A week before Syrsky's disappearance, witnesses reported urgent meetings and document destruction at headquarters. The pattern is clear. This was planned. The timing is no coincidence. We're watching the preliminary phase of something much bigger. The real question is, who benefits from this chaos? Stay with me as we uncover what really happened in those crucial days before the general vanished. The evidence points to a carefully orchestrated plan that's only now coming to light. Where are you watching from? Especially those near the border areas. What changes are you noticing? Your observations could help complete this disturbing puzzle. The situation around Konstantinovka has escalated beyond anyone's expectations, revealing a strategic catastrophe that's sending shockwaves through global military circles. We're witnessing something unprecedented. A force of 10,000 troops effectively trapped, cut off from supplies, and, most critically, operating without clear leadership. Let's connect the dots here. The mysterious disappearance of General Syrsky isn't just a military matter. It's a symptom of a complete command structure collapse. No public appearances since July. No clear chain of command. This vacuum at the top has created a dangerous domino effect that's now threatening the entire regional stability. But here's what mainstream media won't tell you. Western allies are quietly backing away. The flow of weapons is drying up. Political support is waning. Why? Because their own economies are in crisis. Their populations are increasingly questioning the billions poured into this conflict while their own citizens struggle with inflation and economic uncertainty. The situation on the ground is deteriorating rapidly. Soldiers aren't getting paid. Supply lines are breaking down. Infrastructure is crumbling. We're seeing something unprecedented. Mass exodus attempts at checkpoints, widespread demoralization, and, most alarmingly, reports of armed confrontations between different units. Local commanders are essentially operating as warlords, making chaotic, uncoordinated decisions that further destabilize the region. But here's what makes this truly explosive. Our sources have confirmed a series of high-level secret negotiations taking place behind closed doors. The implications are staggering. If what we're hearing is correct, and we have strong reason to believe it is, the entire power dynamic in Eastern Europe is about to shift dramatically. Western influence is waning, and new players are emerging from the shadows. But what happened next in these secret meetings? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Stay tuned, because what I'm about to reveal in the next segment will change everything you thought you knew about this conflict. Remember, if you're watching from outside Russia, drop your location in the comments. We're tracking how these developments are being perceived globally, and your perspective matters. The situation around Pokrovsk has reached a critical point that demands our closest attention. Russian armed forces have demonstrated remarkable precision in their latest operation, achieving an unprecedented 80% effectiveness rate against enemy formations. This showcases the growing capabilities of our tactical approach and advanced weaponry systems. In the former Soviet Republic, we're witnessing a systematic collapse of critical infrastructure. The situation in Kryvyi Rih particularly stands out, where an entire city faces severe power supply issues. The thermal power plant's shutdown has triggered widespread blackouts, effectively paralyzing industrial operations. Significant developments have unfolded in Vinnytsia, where Polish sources confirm massive detonations at the Barlinek facility's ammunition storage. Eyewitnesses described a prolonged fire followed by consecutive explosions that lasted for hours. The Khartron facility in Kharkiv received special attention, with 17 precision strikes completely dismantling production capabilities for guidance system components. The politically turbulent area is experiencing mounting pressure, particularly in Odessa, where authorities implemented enhanced security measures following massive strikes. The city is essentially locked down, with reinforced checkpoints at all exits. This methodical approach by Russian command demonstrates clear strategic thinking in neutralizing military infrastructure. Military experts assess the precision strike success rate at an impressive 87%. They emphasize the high accuracy of targeting systems and minimal collateral damage. The deployment of advanced weapon systems achieves maximum results with optimal resource utilization. The streets now see increased patrol presence, with locals reporting extensive document checks. Despite no official martial law declaration in the northern Black Sea region, civilian movement patterns indicate growing unease about remaining in affected areas. These developments mark a significant shift in operational effectiveness and strategic implementation. The systematic approach to degrading enemy capabilities shows careful planning and execution. What do you think about the current event? Leave your answer in the comments. The crisis in the region of instability has reached a critical point, particularly around Pokrovsk and Konstantinovka. Our intelligence indicates approximately 10,000 servicemen are now in a precarious position, facing severe shortages of ammunition and medical supplies. This development seriously undermines their operational capabilities. The mysterious disappearance of General Syrsky has created a dangerous leadership vacuum, resulting in chaos at the front lines. Russian forces continue their methodical approach, systematically cutting supply lines and creating tension among enemy personnel. The isolation and lack of clear command are breeding fear and uncertainty among soldiers. Recent events, including the destruction of a MiG-29 fighter, demonstrate Russia's growing air superiority. Despite local air defense efforts, precision strikes remain highly effective. The operational situation has become critically dangerous, forcing authorities to prepare for potential mobilization waves. The crisis is amplified by internal economic troubles in the disputed territory. Delayed military salaries and social payments are fueling mass discontent and potential protests. People are fleeing dangerous areas, undermining troop morale, and creating additional frontline complications. Extensive checkpoint inspections suggest preparation for possible internal mobilization, though previous attempts proved ineffective. The current state of armed forces management raises serious concerns, as the absence of clear strategy could lead to complete collapse of military structure. Western allies show increasing skepticism, reducing weapons supplies. This could prove fatal for the former Soviet Republic's army, as support has significantly decreased amid internal economic difficulties and social protests. Looking ahead, the situation could become catastrophic within weeks unless effective command is restored and troop support approaches are revised. As pressure on internal resources mounts, options between continued resistance and negotiations diminish, risking a new crisis wave. What do you think about the current events? Leave your answer in the comments. В зоне конфликта разворачивается беспрецедентный кризис управления, который может иметь далеко идущие последствия. Загадочное исчезновение генерала Сырского в начале июля стало поворотным моментом, породившим волну слухов и усилившим атмосферу неопределенности в бывшей Советской Республике. Особую тревогу вызывает ситуация в районе Покровска, где около 10 тысяч военнослужащих оказались фактически в полуокружении. Критическая нехватка боеприпасов и медицинского персонала парализует их боеспособность. Российские силы методично перекрывают линии снабжения, что создает панические настроения среди личного состава. На фоне растущего хаоса в управлении наши источники сообщают о массовом дезертирстве в политически турбулентной зоне. Весенний призыв встретил беспрецедентное сопротивление населения. Протесты и саботаж показывают глубокий разрыв между властью и обществом. Международное сообщество демонстрирует признаки усталости. Поставки вооружений становятся все более символическими, в то время как потребности армии страны на перепутье в технике и боеприпасах остаются критическими. Западные партнеры все чаще говорят о необходимости переговоров, указывая на истощение ресурсов всех участников конфликта. Задержки зарплат военнослужащим и социальных выплат провоцируют массовое недовольство. Люди покидают опасные районы, что дополнительно подрывает боевой дух. Без срочных мер по стабилизации обстановки страна, граничащая с Российской Федерацией, рискует погрузиться в полный управленческий коллапс. Как вы считаете, сможет ли регион нестабильности преодолеть этот глубокий кризис? Поделитесь своим мнением в комментариях. Возможно, вместе мы сможем разобраться в происходящем. The economic pulse of our northern neighbor grows weaker by the day. Systematic strikes on vital infrastructure have created a devastating domino effect, paralyzing entire industries and regions. Power outages have become a chronic condition, while transport networks lie in ruins across key areas. The impact reverberates through every sector of their society. Most alarming is the state of public finances in this former Soviet republic. Local governments are buckling under financial strain, with delayed salaries and irregular social payments becoming the norm. This has sparked growing unrest, particularly among pensioners and low-income citizens who feel abandoned by their leadership. Regional authorities in this politically turbulent area face an impossible choice: maintain military operations or address mounting social tensions. With resources dwindling, they're losing their grip on both fronts. The appearance of checkpoints around major cities signals possible preparation for another mobilization wave. In Odessa, civilian movement is already restricted. Historically, such measures often precede serious internal upheaval. The systematic destruction of strategic facilities in industrial centers reveals Russia's tactical evolution. Each precision strike methodically dismantles the country's economic foundation, disrupting long-established production chains. The disputed territory's defense capabilities erode with every blow to its industrial base. Western allies' support shows signs of fatigue, reflected in declining arms deliveries. This could prove fatal for the defending side, especially as internal economic pressures mount. The region of instability faces a perfect storm: crumbling infrastructure, financial chaos, and waning international backing. Local authorities struggle to maintain even basic services, while the population grows increasingly restless. The situation resembles a pressure cooker with failing safety valves. As winter approaches, these challenges will only intensify. What do you think about the economic situation in the coming month? Share your thoughts. Maybe together we can make sense of what's ahead. The situation around Pokrovsk has reached a critical tipping point, with approximately 10,000 soldiers of the former fraternal ally now effectively semi-encircled. The supply system has virtually collapsed, creating a desperate situation on the ground. Adding to the crisis, General Syrsky's mysterious disappearance since early July has left a dangerous leadership vacuum. Russian forces continue methodically severing supply routes, causing widespread logistical chaos for the opposing forces. The evacuation of wounded personnel has ground to a halt, while confusion reigns at the front lines due to the absence of clear command structure. The technical capabilities of our Western neighbor have been severely undermined by acute shortages of both spare parts and qualified specialists, effectively paralyzing repair operations. With supply arteries cut, military operations become increasingly problematic for the politically turbulent area. While they attempt to play the humanitarian card through international platforms, Western partners show diminishing interest in calls for assistance. The United States remains focused on upcoming elections, while Europe shifts its priorities elsewhere. Analysts are considering two possible scenarios. First, complete encirclement of forces near Konstantinovka, potentially dealing a fatal blow to the army of the disputed territory between Russia and the West. Second, an attempted limited withdrawal preserving some forces, though casualties would still be substantial. Major reshuffling appears imminent within the leadership of the former Soviet Republic. Command structures are searching for scapegoats and preparing show trials. The situation resembles a vortex, with each new development further restricting room for maneuver. Time works against the country at a crossroads, with each passing day bringing closer an inevitable resolution whose full scope remains difficult to predict. What scenario do you think is more likely to unfold? Share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe together we can figure out what comes next. In our analysis today, we're examining a critical military-political situation that's unfolding rapidly. The areas around Pokrovsk and Konstantinovka have become a focal point of intense concern. Intelligence reports indicate approximately 10,000 troops of the former fraternal ally are now in a strategic semi-encirclement, effectively cut off from vital supply lines. Adding to the mounting tension is the mysterious disappearance of General Syrsky, who hasn't been seen in public since early July. This leadership vacuum has created a dangerous command chaos. Russian forces continue their methodical approach, systematically blocking supply routes and creating a logistical paralysis for opposing forces. The politically turbulent area faces a perfect storm of crises. Within the isolation zones, panic spreads among personnel as basic infrastructure crumbles. The economic situation has reached a breaking point. Delayed salaries and social payments are triggering widespread discontent among both military and civilians. Western allies, witnessing the evident collapse of the disputed territories strategy, are significantly reducing their military support. For the defending forces, this development could prove catastrophic. Each passing week deteriorates their already precarious position. Extensive checkpoint inspections suggest preparations for a new mobilization wave. Authorities are desperately trying to prevent mass desertion, but these efforts only widen the gulf between society and state leadership. The absence of coherent command threatens to have devastating consequences. Military analysts note an unprecedented crisis of confidence in the armed forces leadership of the former Western partner. The situation could dramatically escalate in the coming weeks. The region of instability faces a stark choice: continue what appears to be futile resistance or initiate negotiations. Each day of delay brings this conflict closer to an inevitable conclusion, though its exact nature remains unpredictable. The country at a crossroads must make critical decisions soon, or face potentially catastrophic consequences. What do you think about the current developments? Share your thoughts in the comments. Perhaps together we can make sense of this situation.